Okay, so I'm pretty excited to make this episode, even though it's a long time since I made the last episode, and I'm also late on this episode. I am still pretty excited, even though I would like to have recorded 1 week ago. I'm actually glad I didn't because during the week that has uh, happened, I realized more things that would be interesting for this video or this episode. And it's about a bit of, I would like to call it a wrap up on the series that has been going on so far, which has been called the Journey to Deep Sense of a deep, I cannot call it, but a deep, that to gain more confidence, basically. Just said in a very, very nice way. And why I feel this is a wrap up is because I am feeling pretty good about myself and pretty good about the things that I have read and realized for the past almost 2 weeks, to be honest. Um, so what happened was that I started reading a book called The Courage to Be Disliked. And I actually didn't knew much about what I was going into at first. It was just a coincidence that I was able to borrow the sequel, which is called The Courage to Be Happy. I was able to borrow that pretty easily, so I was like, well, I guess I am going to read the first book. For it would make sense for me to read the sequel. So I waited for it and I borrowed it and it was time and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna read it. And I started and it was not what I had expected. Um it's about, I have not read it finished. I about 15 chapters in, I guess, and there's something like 50. So I'm long from finished. But even so, it has still quite amazed me in some ways. Um, it's about a field of psychology, which the grandfather of this field is he's called, I cannot remember his full name, but he's a German philosopher called, or his last name is Adler. And he is usually being seen as one of the big threes in psychology, where the two others are Sigmund Freud and the other is Carl Jung. And then there's Adler, who I basically never have heard about. And it's a Japanese guy who I cannot remember the name of, who is telling the psychology theory of Adler. And it's pretty interesting. I have never seen his name Adler or anything before, so I didn't knew him or anything about his theory. But the author is kind of suggesting that the theory of Adler is so unique and so universal that is kind of taken for known, some of the things in it, and then there are some other aspects of the theory that is beyond our knowledge at the moment, which I think is pretty insane and quite interesting. I mean, that's what's it called? That's the opinion of the author, and I mean, other people who might be more into Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung may say that it's not. It's very radical. Let me just say that. Um, for example, one of the things that is believed in Adler theory is that trauma does not exist because the past does not exist. What has happened in the past does not define who you are today. So when you think about traumas, people are traumatized because of something that happens to them in the past. But what Adler's theory says is that it's not the thing that happened in the past that has traumatized you. It is the meaning that you have given this thing that has happened in the past that is traumatizing you. So it's not what happened that's traumatizing you, it's the thought or the psychological aspect of what happened, or psychological aspect, which I think is pretty interesting. Not that I totally agree, but I can see where his ideas come from. That what has happened, and it's traumatizing us because we still keep on hanging on to it, to not to, so to say, or I mean, in Adler's theory, is like you're doing this on purpose. And I cannot explain it what he means it is, because to me it's still pretty complicated. And I'm not an expert at all. I'm just a beginner in this Adler theory psychology. But one of the things that struck me a lot was that, I gotta explain first that the way that this book is delivered is that it's kind of a fictional conversation between a youth and a philosopher. So there's a youth coming to this philosopher with a lot of questions about how he can change himself, because he doesn't like himself. And then the philosopher is trying to explain the Adler theory, and the youth is trying to understand it, and so on. At first, it was a bit weird to read, but now I'm actually kind of getting it. Also because they explained that it was how this kind of dialogue delivering is back from Greece philosophy with Socrates and Plato, because Socrates never wrote any of his philosophy down. It was his disciple Plato who wrote it all down, because Socrates would like to more participate in dialogues with people to explain his philosophy, and also get it have people to say their opinions about it and such, to get it confronted, or so to say. So that's why it's delivered in this dialogue. So one of the things that this philosopher said to the youth was that the things that the philosopher said to the youth, he should not just take it as given or granted, but he should listen to it, and he should make his own opinion about what he said. And that really struck me, because I think I have told it before some time ago that I have not had a lot of confidence in myself, and I have not have many opinions of myself, but I have been a lot of a copycat, to copy opinions and also copy the way I was doing things and speech and so on, and not doing my own thing, because I did not had confidence in my own opinion and what I wanted to do and such. I have now. But now when I read this, it was more like a clear sign to me that what I do and what I want to do, what I want to create, that's unique, and it's mine, and it's okay that it's mine, and it might be wrong, but then I can just change it so that it still fits into my opinion, but so that is also correct. And what I'm thinking about when I'm talking about this is more like what I would like to create to help other people. Because I think that there's a lot of information and courses and such out there that can help people. And I mean, it's not like that there's one course that can help everyone. There's a lot of different courses and they can help different people. And I think that there is a place in this world for a course of mine. Maybe not a course, but my kind of, should you say philosophy of life? Because then I just started listening to some speeches and such of a guy called Jim Rohn, who apparently is an early personal development guy back through the 70s, I believe it was. Well, I was like, damn, what a personal development back in the 70s. I was like, wow. And what this audio course, I actually believe it is, a collection of his speeches. What it started with was how important personal philosophy is. And when he talks about personal philosophy, it's about how do you see yourself and the world, and who do you blame for your situation? Do you blame yourself, or do you blame everything else and everyone else? And so it's actually kind of a question of personal philosophy. And I am developing still my personal philosophy, but it's getting clearer and clearer, better and better, and more structured. Maybe not day by day, but week by week, actually. I would say. So if I feel like something's interesting is happening every week to my personal philosophy, and I think that my personal philosophy could help others achieve what they want in life. Because it had helped me be in a very good place. I really like where I am right now, both psychology, mentally, physically. But the thing is that I am still not, what you can say, satisfied. I still want more. And this is also very something interesting that is talked about in the philosophy of Adler. And that is that we all have this feeling of inferiority, I believe is pronounced, which comes from that we are all born in this world helpless and are reliant on others, our parents usually, and we are very eager as children to learn so that we are able to handle our own problems and to take care of ourselves and not be so reliant on everybody else. But we will always still have this feeling of inferiority, that there are other peoples that we can compare ourselves to that we feel are better than us or superior to us. So there's two things to this, and that is that there are people who are lost in this feeling of inferiority, where they are so deep in this feeling that they are not able to take a step further or a step away from this feeling. And then there are other people that can use this feeling of inferiority to chase superiority. And that's the other thing that he talks about. And the opposite of feeling of inferiority, that is the chase of superiority. And that is grounded from the feeling of inferiority, that you're like, I don't want to be like this. Some things need to change. And that is where I am at the moment. I am chasing superiority. And that is completely normal and totally human in this theory of Adler theory. That people are chasing superiority because they are done feeling inferior towards others. And then I'm saying that feeling inferior to us and superior towards us, that is because he also says that every problems that we face in this world is coming from interpersonal relationships or relations. And I actually kind of get that, because I mean, I'm just saying I get it. I understand that. Not that I completely agree, but I agree to a quite a large extent that a lot of problems that people get is because of their relationships with others. Others they don't know, others they know very well, others they only see on television. It's actually a large pile of problems that comes from this. Every problem I am not sure about, because I don't know every problem in the world. But I kind of get it that the majority of problems, at least, is coming from interpersonal relationships with others. Because he says, if you had no one else to compare yourself to, if you were all alone in the universe, would you care about your height? Would you think it would be wrong or good? You have no one to compare to. What about your looks? Would you say you're ugly or pretty? Well, who would you compare yourself to say if you were ugly or pretty? What about your skills? How good you are at certain things? Well, you have no one to compare yourself to. So how would you know if you're good or bad or something? You're just doing it the best you can. I mean, so I kind of get it. It's pretty interesting. And I really would like to read more in this book because it is really interesting. So that was like a idea that kind of sat with me very well, that I am able to do my own thing, have my own opinion, and make my own thing, and it will be good. And then I was like, it's gonna be great because I am in a state where I know that no matter what I'm going to do, it's going to be good. It's going to be great because I have a really strong sense of, is this confidence? A really strong sense of confidence in myself that no matter what I do, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. This might actually just be confidence, which just kind of dawned to me. I just realized this. Interesting. No, because as I said in the latest episode, I feel really good, in a really good place about myself and my confidence. And I think that is actually pretty good. But the thing is, when I'm then together with other people, I don't feel very confident anymore. All of a sudden. But alone, not talking to, I feel very confident. it's weird. And I just need to also be confident among other people. I mean, it's better and I am working on it. So it's getting better every day that I'm getting more and more confident. It's just when people are praising me for things that I do, which I think is fun and pretty cool to do, that I do know that many would not do, but I do it anyway. Because I think it's pretty cool to do it. And that's the thing again. It's cool because I know no one else will do it. And people are praising me for it. I'm like, yeah, well, it's not that big a deal and such. And I get I don't know if it's embarrassment or what it is, but I'm just like, yeah, I just don't know what to say. It's weird. I just need to be, it's okay. It's great. And also another thing to talk about the book is that he also says, I think I have said this before as well, that it's not the cards you were dealt with that's the problem. It's how you're using it that's the problem. So that's also a thing about the past, that a lot of people are making excuses of what they're not doing things because of their past, what has happened to them, or where they were born, or such things. And that's not the problem. The problem is that you are giving this as an excuse. He says that you can do anything, everything. You can change to whoever you want to be. It's just a matter of have the courage to change to the person you want to be. And that's why it's called the courage to be disliked, because it's about to be courageous. You have to be courageous to like yourself and to not care about that other people's don't like you. And to also have the courage to be the person who you want to be. That's pretty powerful. Not gonna lie. And then, is there any way to wrap this book up? I don't know. I think it was pretty powerful, and I don't think I'm going to finish it by the time I have it now, borrowing it, because I have too much work to do. And also, just a little thing, I have written so many notes. I write these small notes, and I have written like 10 or something like that since the latest episode. And beforehand, I wrote like 1, maybe 2. So it's crazy. So one of the things that I also wrote or realized was that I had heard, I cannot remember where, but I had heard that a man is made. A man is not born, a man is made, which I think of as that is what the actions or things that are happening to a man that makes a man. And then I realized, well, that does not fit very well in the Adler theory, because the Adler theory says that it's not what has happened. The past doesn't exist. So what has happened to you does not make you a man. So then I was like, okay, so it's not external factors that makes a man. Well, if it's not, I cannot find the note where I wrote this. No. So it was not external factors that makes a man. Well, what does makes a man then? And then I realized that it's the internal factors that makes a man. Because I have also said that what you do is not that what defines you. So if you have a work, if you have a sport that you do, that does not define who you are. You do these things for the reason of you. So it is you who are defining these things. You are doing these things because of something inside of you. So it's coming inside out. That's what I believe, at least what I started to believe. I believed the opposite before my concussion. But then all my external factors was taken away from me, and I was in an identity crisis. And then I realized, well, I still have something inside of me, even though I don't have all these outside things. So now I realize that is the inside things, your core values and your personality and all these kind of stuff. We can discuss personality another time. Core values that makes you do the things that you do. So if you have shitty core values, then you do shitty things, shitty actions, shitty habits. If you have really good and great core values, well, then you do really good in life. You do great things, you do great values, great values, great habits, because you have good core values. And one of the most important things is confidence. I've realized confidence in yourself to say, I am good enough and I deserve the best. And confidence to say, I can do all these things. I can be healthy. I can be confident. I can be disciplined and such. You can do all these things. You just have to say, I can. I believe in myself that I can do this. I talked about it a little in the past episode, and it's just so more powerful than I actually realized. That confidence is the source to development. The confidence in yourself that you maybe not deserve better, but that you can achieve the things that you want. Confidence in yourself. And confidence to be disliked by others. It's everything in confidence. So what makes a man? I wrote it someplace. Okay, I just wrote a man is confident. Oh wait, it's right here. So a man is made by choice, I also said. I cannot remember what I wrote, but it was something in the lines of that confidence is... Okay, it's not that, but I can say it. Confidence is what makes a man. That he has confidence to get the things he wants and get the things he wants to achieve and live the life that he wants to live. So it's a life by choice. And then the Adler theory says that everyone can change. Everyone can get the courage to change. How? I'm not sure about. He just say that everyone can do it. And Jerome says that it's about doing simple things. So what he compares it to is that instead of taking a chocolate bar every day, you take an apple every day. Making that switch is the beginning to a new personal philosophy. It's very dark, and I don't care, because the motion is pretty good, and that's actually also pretty important. So when you start doing those kind of switches, then you can do more and more and more, because you have the confidence to, I can do this, then I would also be able to do this more and more and more. And then all of a sudden you are a really great person, and you are very healthy, and you like where you are. That's pretty much it. So where I see the problem is that people find it hard to do these switches. Why? It could either be that they are not confident in themselves. Somehow they are not confident. Either they don't say I can't, or they say I don't want to. I don't want to eat an apple instead of a chocolate bar. Where this statement comes from, I believe, is that it comes from a kind of addiction. So you are too much addicted to your chocolate bar to say, well, I can easily do an apple. Let me just give that. Because the way that a chocolate bar is affecting us is kind of addicting. Like a lot of other things, video games, drugs, smoking, alcohol. I mean, I could throw a lot of things out there. If you say, I don't want to quit, then I would say that you're addicted to this. The source has control over you, and you don't have control over the source. You can't stop because you are addicted to it. So what is the solution to this? Well, that is the confidence in that you can do it, and the willpower and discipline for you to do it, and also yourself wanting to quit, to do something better with your life. These things needs to be in place for you to change out of that addiction. And that's only you who can do that. People can say a lot of things, but it's only you who can do it in the end. And then the last thing, if you say that you can't, that's a matter of confidence. That you need the confidence to be able to do it. So how to handle this is to take it in small steps. Like if you want to start being more healthy, start eating an apple a day instead of a chocolate bar. And then next, maybe try to switch out a meal, maybe your breakfast, making a healthier breakfast than a unhealthy breakfast. Like maybe not every day, but every second day or something like that. And then little by little, just keep doing more things. And then by time, you will have a healthy diet. The same goes for doing exercise. Start with doing maybe once a week and then go for twice a week when you are comfortable doing once a week. And honestly, also, this is also the way that habits are built. And then the confidence and willpower and discipline is what will power you in the beginning. After 21 days, a habit is starting to forming its place, and then it will be less hard to keep doing it. It will get easier and easier and easier. And then after 90 days, it will feel like that you have done it all your life. That's the power of habits. Read Atomic Habits and the Power of Habits. I mean, it's amazing. So if you have difficulty forming good habits, it is about confidence, willpower, and discipline. So aiming to increase those. I mean, I'm honestly a beast in discipline, and willpower is also pretty strong. And my confidence is getting there. It's as big as it has been, and it's still growing. So at some point, I will reach a point where I will be unstoppable. I'm honestly still amazed by myself, and I'm still amazing myself with the things I do. And the beautiful thing is you can get to that kind of place as well. It just starts with you, that you have to do it. And I mean, in the beginning, it can be good to have someone to show you how to lead the way and to encourage you. But at some point, you also should be able to become your own teacher, to develop yourself and know where you want to go and know what you have to do in order to get where you want to go. But that comes with practice. So I believe that at first you should learn what to do, how to do it, and so that someone should learn you to put out fires. Not have someone else to put out your fires, but have someone to learn you how to put out your own fires. That's key. And I would like to become a person that are learning people how to put out their own fires. And I think I could, if I would. If I would. There it was. So I don't have the confidence in that place. But it's just a matter of myself that I need to get confident, because I can help people. I just have to work more. I have to prioritize more time. That's the problem. Sorry. Then I have to prioritize more time to getting to help more people. So I guess that was it for now, and it's also pretty dark in here because I have not turned up anything of the lights, and it's dark. So I think I will end the episode, and I believe that next time I would like to touch a bit more into about what I would have a real wrap up of the series, where I talk about more about what I have done, what had helped me increase my confidence, and also say what I believe that you can do yourself to increase your confidence. Because I think, my throat is dry. I think that many of the things that I've done can help, but I also think that no way. Okay, so that just happened, and yeah, I'm just gonna end the episode because that was a mess. So see you next time. Bye.